They say home is where the heart is, but in my case, home was where my patience bled out, drop by drop, until there was nothing left to give. It started with my mother's voice, sharp, dismissive, almost rehearsed. "You'll need to pay double rent now. Your brother's family is staying too." I stared at her trying to process. Double rent? As if years of shouldering the mortgage, utilities, and groceries had meant nothing. As if my brother, the golden child, hadn't coasted his entire life on excuses and open palms. I didn't argue, I didn't fight, I simply nodded, as if I had no choice. That's what they expected, compliance. But inside, something cold and precise began to form. Backstory. For years I played the role, the dutiful child, the reliable one. I paid on time, fixed what broke, took care of the house my parents insisted would one day be mine. I swallowed their favoritism, their endless forgiveness of my brother's failures. I told myself it didn't matter, that stability was reward enough. But deep down, I kept waiting. Waiting for acknowledgement, gratitude, something. It never came. Instead, my brother arrived with his wife and kids like a conquering king. No rent, no groceries, just noise and mess and the smug comfort of knowing my parents would always shield him. And then, the insult. My mother's demand, double rent. That was the day my loyalty snapped. Discovery. It wasn't just neglect, it was exploitation. I overheard her one night, whispering to my father, "He owes us. After everything we've done, he should be grateful to have a roof at all." Grateful, as if I hadn't been the one keeping the lights on for years, as if the freeloaders weren't bleeding me dry in my own home. I remember standing in the dark hallway, fists clenched, my brother's laughter drifting up from the living room. They thought I'd stay. They thought I was trapped. They were wrong. The plan. I didn't rage, I didn't shout, I smiled. I paid the new rent without hesitation. Let them believe they'd won. Meanwhile, I started planning my escape. Step 1, I found a new place. Quiet, affordable, mine. No strings attached. Step 2, I transferred everything essential. Documents, savings, valuables, slowly, quietly. No one noticed. They were too busy enjoying their free ride. Step 3, I waited. Timing was everything. I knew the day would come when they'd push too far, when my mother's voice would cut through the air with one demand too many. And it did. The execution. Your brother's kids need more space. Maybe you could move your things out of the master bedroom for them. Her tone was casual, as if asking me to pass the salt. That was my moment. I smiled, serene, and said, "Of course." But instead of moving into another room, I moved out, completely. I left behind nothing but bare walls and silence. No warning, no note, just absence. And then, when my mother called, frantic, confused, demanding to know where I was, I finally spoke. "I've found my own place," I said, voice calm, almost tender. "Enjoy the slackers. The house is all yours now." The pause on the other end was delicious, panic creeping in. The realization that their safety net had vanished. The climax. They showed up at my new apartment days later, faces tight with forced smiles, excuses spilling from their mouths. It was just temporary. We didn't mean, "You're overreacting. Family helps family. We thought you understood." I let them talk, let them dig. Then I said the words that cut deeper than any scream. No. I understood perfectly. You used me. And now you can deal with the consequences. My brother's face hardened, my mother's eyes filled with tears. But there was nothing left to bargain with. The bills, the rent, the upkeep, it was theirs now. And me? I was free. Resolution. Sometimes revenge isn't loud. Sometimes it's not fire and fury. Sometimes the sweetest revenge is silence. Absence, the void you leave when you finally stop carrying the weight that was never yours to bear. I see it now with clarity. I wasn't their child. I was their crutch. And the day I stepped away, they collapsed under the very dependence they mocked me for resisting. Do I regret it? Not for a second. I built a new life with walls no one else can claim, with air that doesn't choke of obligation. And every time I picture them in that house, my brother scrambling, my mother seething, bills piling up, I smile, because they wanted me to pay double. Instead, they got exactly what they deserved: nothing.